What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Nom Syndicate podcast. You're sitting here with Frank and Quincy.
Yep.
And today we're talking about potatoes, baby. A specific type of potatoes. Not just any potatoes. We're talking mashed potatoes.
The mashy taters, baby.
Mashed potatoes. But before we get too far into mashed potatoes, I got to bring something up.
Bring it up.
I'm going to bring it up. It's Black History Month.
Yeah, happy Black History Month.
I gotta,
baby.
I gotta shine some light.
Yeah,
on some
let
shit
me turn around.
that hurt. See, he's got to get turned.
It's getting serious in here.
This is very, very real. All right, check it out.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the Dewey Decimal System?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that dude was like super weird and racist?
I had no idea.
Neither did I.
I don't even think I knew he was a real person.
Okay.
I mean, I get it. You know, I don't even think people really use it anymore. Do people go to libraries anymore?
I don't know, but libraries use it all the time. But search
You're
engines
right.
are better. But
Yeah,
libraries still organize their shit based on that.
Yeah.
I got to give him credit where credit's due. Dewey Decimal System is crazy.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. He did that shit when he was 21. And at the time, I don't think he was actively racist. I think he was institutionally racist.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
which is just going to happen.
like a
at that time.
family-bound racist.
Well, it's kind of like a whole society-bound racist.
Yeah,
There's
okay.
a lot of racism going on.
Yeah.
And he invented the Dewey Decimal System because he was just obsessed with organization. And stuff.
So he probably had like some weird OCD and didn't even know it.
I think he probably knew it, but he just went all in wrote this whole like 40-something page manifesto on the Dewey Decimal System. Got adopted by all these libraries and stuff. But here's what happened. Because he like didn't think about anybody that wasn't white at all. He like maybe unintentionally, I don't think he did it with malice, but he just kind of like made it really hard to find anything about black people like at all in the library. Like it's like you would have to like so shout out, I'm talking about this, but this is like a podcast I listen to called Behind the Bastards, and this is their episode they released today actually, and it's all about Dewey, baby.
Yeah.
His name, that wasn't his name, but you know, Dewey Decimal System.
Calling him Dewey, we don't respect him. No.
Dewey.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Dookie Dewey. If we be bullying him, Dookie Dewey.
Yeah, man, he's done some whack shit. And then later in life, in his 50s, they were talking about how he had like a private club.
Yeah.
And he like would not specifically let any people of color in or Jews.
Oh yeah.
And
he all the way racist.
He had he went all the way.
Yeah.
And he straight up had like a book and wrote that shit down. Like, you know how like normal people, like when they're doing scandalous shit, it's just like spoken.
Yeah.
Nobody
writing down. He ain't taking note.
You don't want paper
He
trails.
making sure everybody know that.
He knew. This dude got canceled in the early 1900s for being a creepy weirdo like perv.
Yeah.
Like he was getting canceled before people were getting canceled. If you want to know all about why the Dewey Decimal System is pretty complex and crazy, but why it was also somewhat racist, and you want to know more about this,
that's why I always had a hard time finding books. Design definitely gets me. I'm like, why are all these people in my class finding their books so easy? Why can't I find
built-in racism immediately?
Me and my homies like, hey, did you find Cat in the Hat yet? I'm like, I still can't find it. No,
it doesn't even exist. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all this dude's fault. All his fault.
Oh, Dewey. Dookie Dewey.
Fuck Dewey, man.
Horrible person.
Dude sucks. So anyway,
boycott your libraries. No, I'm just playing. Don't do that.
So anyway, Dewey Decimal System fucking sucks. It's actually really a complex system. It kind of blew my mind to listen to it, but like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Horrible.
There's your facts.
Yeah, happy Black History Month.
There you go.
Good job, Frank.
Hey, you know, I'm bringing the heat.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about something a lot more uplifting, shall we? Mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Now you would think that the mashed potato.
It's Black History Month. You talking about a pale white food.
And that's what I was thinking. That's why I thought it was extra funny.
Good transition.
Let's lighten up the situation in both hue. Exactly.
Yeah.
We're going to the whitest of foods. Actually, this is mega white. All right. So I did some research and I had to go to the way back to the beginning of the potato. Right.
Yeah.
Do you know that shit used to be poisonous?
Heck no.
Dude. potatoes are part of a nightshade family.
Yeah, yeah.
They were used to poison nobility. Like, they were a massively poisonous.
So I wonder if it was a thing where they boiled it down and concentrated it, like the liquids from it. And
That's what they did. If you can make a poison out of it, people have done it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We make poisons. We poison stuff. That's just what happens.
That's weird.
But anyway, so the crazy thing is that the way that it was consumed by the Inca at the time, they would eat potatoes and they would like lick clay and then eat potatoes. I mean, it tasted probably disgusting.
Yeah.
But if you're eating to survive, which we've talked about the different ways people are interacting with food, right? There's probably a lot of people that were eating to survive.
Yeah, yeah.
You weren't getting the tastiest jams. You were licking clay and eating potatoes.
I mean, there's things called stone soup. You know what I'm saying? Like people ain't just
you're not having fun.
No.
There's no spices. There's stones.
Yes.
Stones.
Get your nutrients somewhere.
Spoil that lime.
Yeah.
It's so good. So you got to get your calcium.
Yeah, got to.
But okay, so they would do that, and like the clay would actually bind to some of the toxins, and it would lower the toxicity and make them digestible. So that's kind of where people started consuming potatoes.
Yeah,
and it was actually France that kind of made everything
safe.
No, not really. It was kind of so like potatoes for the longest time were like considered food just for livestock, like just for animal consumption. It was never
so it was
a
thing meant for filling, just to kind of get your animals to grow.
Yeah,
kind of like how like people do with bread and corn. Yeah, yeah.
Of course, it was just it's something you could plant. They grow pretty easy. You know, good to go. But the crazy thing is they actually went so far as to make a law against potatoes in 1748 to make it illegal for you to consume them as a person.
So that many people was just killing potatoes and dying? It was like, hey, y'all need to quit eating these potatoes.
Because this is after, this is even after, so it was the Inca that had like selectively bred them over time to make them
more consumable?
Yeah, consumable. Like it would just breed the toxicity out of them to make them more just palatable and able to do things with them. And then, you know, we brought that back to Europe from their horrible conquests, obviously. You know,
obviously.
Nobody just willingly was gifted a nice potato.
No.
That shit was taken.
Yeah.
And some of the worst shit happens in the planet, and it always results in something tasty at the end. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I probably wouldn't have pepper if it weren't for the Crusades, and those were some pretty weird times, right?
Yeah.
So some dicey shit happens. We're just trying to look at we're trying to look at the brighter side of things here. The outcome here is that you can now eat potatoes.
Yeah. Potatoes are good, man.
Yeah. But there's blood on your hands. If you're eating fries right now, there's blood on your hands.
Blood on your hands, baby.
But so they domesticated the potato, right? And then it was like introduced into Europe, and then, you know, in France they got this potato, but they like fed it to their animals. That shit comes from the dirt. We don't eat that. There's a lot of really good logic around those times, you know. People that there was like a time when medieval people, like the nobility, refused to eat anything from the ground. Yeah. You know what they had? Disease. Because all they ate was just like probably meat. Like not that fresh of meat. They didn't even have refrigeration.
That's true.
They're eating some weird meat and like no vegetables at all. It's like one of the few times that the commoners were probably way healthier in terms of like nutrition.
That's a weird thing, like between like rich and poor and like master slave thing. Like back in the day during slavery, slaves was eating lobster.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Lobster was weird.
It wasn't, but it wasn't like considered what it is now. Nah. Like, but it was still it was probably bigger lobsters too, because they, you know what I mean? They ain't being tampered. You know what I mean? They all just out there free. But regardless, they eating like the good seafood. Now they probably ain't cooking it. It's probably getting cooked in a weird way, but they eating all this weird seafood stuff, or considered weird to them back then. Yeah. And now that's like the pricey stuff. You know what I mean?
There's an essay you can read that's really interesting called Consider the Lobster.
People think slaves was only eating like chitlins and guts and all that. No, they was eating lobster and shrimp out in that motherfucker.
But at the time, we churched it up when we could. That's like, we'll get into that.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely churched up.
You should definitely, if you've got time and you could get to it, Consider the Lobster by David Foster Wallace is a pretty interesting thing on the history of the lobster. And basically, like, what happens was they were so prevalent on the coast, like, you could just walk out and grab them.
Yeah.
So they would feed. It used to be considered cruel and unusual punishment to feed prisoners lobster so many days in a row. But it wasn't until, like, they started, we get trains and we get all this stuff that we start being able to give it to people in the Midwest.
Yeah.
That they were like, just tell them it's fancy.
Yeah.
They'll buy it.
What it is, somebody cooked it up with some butter and some lemon. They was like, damn, we need to quit giving these slaves this.
I'm going to be eating these bugs. This is great.
The slaves eating it. They eating too good, boy.
Give me now. The lobster. That's such a weird thing, man. Like how it went from just being like trash poverty food.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they were like, this is fine dining.
Yeah.
What is
That's a weird
the PR
thing.
company for this thing? Because, man, what they just did was they took something that should be terrible and then they made everybody in the Midwest be like, you want to go to Red Lobster tonight?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's some magic.
Magic, man.
Dude, they're crazy.
For a big ass sea roach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But they did it. And that's how it happened. And now I don't know where we were at.
Mashy taties, man.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about mashed potatoes. I'm lost. We're just gone now. We're talking about lobsters.
Yeah.
It's got
you was talking about it being brought into France.
Oh, yeah. But they brought that shit in. It was not considered like food fit for humans. Like they were just like, it comes from the ground. Just give it to the animals and you eat the animals. And I'm sure there's enough people at that time just digging stuff out of the ground, eating it, and just it not going well.
Yeah.
That they're like, feed it to an animal. If it doesn't die, then we'll eat that animal.
Yeah.
If it does die, we'll probably still eat that animal. Like they don't care.
So can't waste it.
That's like the test. But it was illegal for a while. But there was this guy that in the 1700s, a French army pharmacist. I cannot pronounce his name. Antoine Augustin Parmentier.
That sounds right. Pimentos.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. This is great. So I don't know how to say that name properly, but they were captured by Prussian soldiers, and while they were a prisoner of war, they were forced to live on like rations of potatoes. And essentially, like, during this time that they're considering the potato to just be garbage. But anyway, what happened? They thought that eating potatoes would cause like leprosy. And like weird stuff. So anyway, like that happened. It was illegal. He was being force fed. So when he got discovered in prison, he found out while he was there that not all potatoes kill you. Like it was largely thought that all potatoes would kill you, but there's certain ones that don't. And so he also learned that they tasted pretty good and stuff like that. So like when he actually got out of prison at the end of the war, he's the one that started bringing that back and started like introducing it to people.
Let me show you these good potatoes I was eating in prison. Right.
He's like they're pretty good, and he's like, but the big thing was it was versatile to cook. Dude could cook them in all sorts of different ways, and he was kind of jazzed on that. He was just like, man, you can do all these different things. And this dude is the one that started the initial documented guy for finding out how you can mash a potato. Boil the shit up, mash it down. Like, dude figured it out. Now, I'm sure it was garbage.
Make it spread.
He probably just made it with water or something.
Just water and that.
I don't know. Maybe
Was salt popping?
Maybe did. But
did they have a lot of salt? Was it hard to get salt?
I'm sure it was expensive. You probably had to do some shit for it. Or it's either one or two things. Like salt, you have to pay
the
for
creaminess of mashed potatoes had to come later.
Yeah. Okay.
The mashing got to come first. You know what I'm saying?
Know. You'd think. We'll see what happens. But, like, I don't even know. Let's see what
let's see what happens.
But this dude is solely responsible for basically, like, constantly trying. He was such a hoe for potatoes. That he got France to reconsider. They, like, lifted the ban by, like, 1772. And the thing that's crazy about that is literally, like, not that long after that, it's everywhere. Like it just went everywhere. Like it took like maybe a couple centuries. Like it's a blip of time in the grand scheme of things. But
it makes sense to me because everybody's like, we got all these poisonous ass potatoes, and they hear like, hey, we eating good potatoes over here. They're like, let me get some of them good potatoes, homie.
I don't even think people had potatoes. I think because they all came from Peru.
Oh yeah.
And so like. I have no idea.
So they probably sold them as like, hey, look at this new thing that's real versatile.
Right.
And they was like, oh, y'all hear about
Somebody
that new potato?
went over there, they ate a French fry.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
We're doing that.
Yeah, what else can you do with it? You frying that joint up? That a stick of potato?
But you know humans, man. They've been probably boiling weird vegetables into mushes forever.
Yeah, everything is boiled.
Yeah.
Everything was boiled. I would assume. Or burnt. Everything was boiled or grilled / burnt up.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you think about today, like how hard it is to like, it's not hard. You can screw food up pretty good. But like the amount of stuff you have access to, can you imagine the level of shitty food people was consuming back then? Because like
bland. Oh,
they're cooking over a fire.
Yeah.
They're probably wasted because there's not potable water.
Yeah.
They're just doing, like the things that they're thinking of, like they're tending to that thing. Or the fire went out and now that soup is cold. It's been in there for 3 days as they're heating it back up. I'm sure people were eating like crap.
Oh, yeah. And getting sick.
Yeah. That's how
cabbage
it goes.
water. You like cabbage water? We eating it for about 4 days.
You're doing cabbage water? I'm kind of opposed to this, unless it's boiled in a soup.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what they used to do.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not just taking cabbage water up at my crib.
Y'all, I thought Quincy was just about to tell me he's starting a new diet.
Yeah, I'm just at the crib drinking cabbage water. I'm trying to shed these pounds, homie.
Y'all
Summer coming, spring,
water?
trying to get that springtime body, baby.
Cucumber water was so like last decade.
Yeah,
I'm on
man,
that cabbage water.
My
God.
just farting and drinking water. Like, what'd you eat? Nothing. I've been drinking.
Sipping.
Yeah.
I don't even want the calories. Just want the essence. They'll have like one of those seltzers where it's just cabbage water.
Yeah. Oh, I'd be looking so good, but I'm gonna be stinking.
Yeah. What liquor would go into into
a cabbage
mixture?
water?
Yeah.
Oh, vodka. Probably. That's a vodka thing. That sounds like a Russian. Like cabbage water and vodka, I'm sure that's a Russian drink.
There's probably cabbage liquor.
There's like a stone cold Russian right now, like, he's naming my drink.
Yeah.
He's naming my drink. That's the drink of my country.
He's like, it's just like straight up. Like, I bet they make cabbage liquor.
Yeah, probably.
It happened.
Yeah, you know it is.
Devin, I know you listen to this podcast.
Devin, you know
and I know you
cabbage.
distill some weird shit.
Yeah,
so
you know anything about cabbage liquor?
We need cabbage
This sucker
liquor.
making potato vodka right now. And he said, it tastes like potatoes.
I would imagine it does.
I said, is it good? He said, I kind of like it.
Did you ask him how much he had before you asked him that?
No, he said that's the head. The head tastes like that. So the after only tastes like the part you supposed to be drinking, like the good stuff. It's like it's good, but then he said it has like a kind of aftertaste of potato. I said, have you looked up? Is it supposed to taste like potato? He said, that's what everybody's saying.
Okay. You got to learn.
He said,
somehow.
I kind of like it though.
Yeah. Potato chip liquor.
Yeah, that's probably the whitest thing I ever heard. Boy, you like that taste of potato?
That's funny, man.
Damn it, you silly boy.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Potato.
Yeah,
Vodka.
potato vodka.
Perfect. If anybody wants to call us up with how we get paid for that, I would appreciate it. Anyway, let's get back to mashed potatoes. So now, we're all eating potatoes because this dude was locked up in a prison.
Yeah.
Being fed potatoes. So we've gone from that to mashed potatoes to all the things we do to them now.
Yeah.
I mean, we got them everywhere.
Yeah.
I like fried potatoes. I like potatoes in almost all forms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was about to say, no, I like it all.
Yeah.
Mashed potatoes,
great.
French fries, scalloped potatoes, the business.
Yeah.
Either fried up crispy, like breakfast style, or with some buttery, cheesy joints on it, however you want it, you know what I mean?
I like it all.
Yeah.
So,
you get gnocchi.
yeah.
Gnocchi. Yeah, get your old potato pasta joint.
Let's break down. So the earliest recipes. So we were talking about early mashed potatoes, and early mashed potato recipes. So I found a bunch of articles online from I don't know if you rock mentalfloss.com. Great website if you're looking stuff up, and they have meticulously broken down the history of mashed potatoes.
Oh shit!
So they have a whole section dedicated to early mashed potato recipes. But yeah, it really it seems like if this is the case, they kind of had it figured out pretty early on.
Yeah,
so they're doing mashing it like it's literally.
I could see them adding the cream earlier than what I thought, just because cows and butter was prevalent.
Yep.
I'm just thinking the salt factor. When did they add the seasoning?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
So it says there's an English author in the 18th century with a book called The Art of Cookery, and Hannah Glass is the author, and she instructs readers to boil potatoes, peel them, put them into a saucepan, and mash them well with milk, butter, and a little salt. Mm-hmm. I mean, it doesn't take a lot to.
No, that's mashed potatoes.
Yeah, that's mashed potatoes, right? Like, we're there.
Yeah.
Then you can get crazy with your additives and whatnot, your inclusions.
I wonder who was the first one to add that garlic, to do that garlic
that
herb
should happen
joint.
soon.
You
People are
think
always
so?
putting random stuff in food, man.
I could see that waiting until it got a little bit fancier though. Some garlic and some herb. They probably like, don't put that in. But no, that works.
But the thing that's crazy about mashed potatoes is it's almost predominantly served as a side.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's like you never like. Do you like if you ever think? Can you? I mean, I could make mashed potatoes and put something on top of them, but I'm not thinking.
No,
of
I ain't never ate it as a meal.
Right.
No.
But get this.
But I guess some people just can eat a baked potato and call it dinner.
Right. But also, like, if you're doing another vegetable, like, I mean, like, grits can be a meal.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So why? Like, what's going on in society that's making it to where I can't think mashed potatoes?
But you know what? It's
meal.
weird. To me, it's weird. Okay, grits. You know, it's like a meal, especially if you do like a savory grits with like some shrimp or something like a shrimp and grits joint. But mashed potatoes, it's like when you put meat on. Do people just put meat on it other than bacon? Nobody got like shrimp mashed potatoes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Unless they're making some weird loaded baked potato and they just add that because it's like how people do hot dogs. They just want to make them as fancy as possible. Exactly. But it's like either way, even when you buy it like that, it's like they consider that a side.
Right.
It's weird. I don't know.
But here's the thing.
I'm not explaining what my thought process is.
There's a disconnection.
Yeah, it's weird.
So here's the thing. We're going to open a restaurant that only serves
mashed
potatoes.
Yeah, see how it works.
It's going to be great. What if it was just like a mashed potatoes situation and then you just had a savory bar like it was like a froyo place? You're going through and there's like rib tips. You can just put them in there. I'd like to trademark this idea immediately.
Yeah,
a mashed potato bar, and then the middle section is
not
like
a baked potato bar, a mashed potato bar.
Mashed potato bar.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like, because your toppings would be totally different. Like, I'm not gonna put rib tips probably on a baked potato. I mean, it sounds delicious. I might actually do that.
Well, that's the thing that's keeping it from being a side. You got to add a good protein.
But the best part though is like, I feel like if it was in a bowl and you add that stuff on top, it's gonna be easier. The baked potato, it's like.
No, that's what I'm saying.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a perfect vessel.
Yeah. Well, it's just going to make everything stick. It's just sticking. Yeah.
It's an edible gelled bed.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Yeah. And you can flavor them in different ways. So you can complement. Like, you could go over to the bar, like, I got the garlic cheddar mashed potatoes. I just got regular mashed potatoes.
Do mashed potatoes kind of bland things out to you?
Because if you make them right.
Because to me, if I'm eating a steak, like, I never get a baked potato with my steak. I get if they got like some type of mashed potato, I get it. But if it's just like a regular baked potato where I gotta work to mash it up myself in there, give me some veggies on the side. I ain't even worried about that damn potato.
Just straight up call the baked potato out.
Get that thing out. Because and that's the thing too. Sometimes they overcook it.
Yeah.
So it's like you're only getting the very center of it anyway. So I'm like, I really gotta work to eat this damn potato.
My beef with baked potatoes at restaurants is solely this, like. If you are just steaming potatoes or you're putting them in the microwave, that is annoying to me. Like, that's not a baked potato for me. If I want a baked potato, you're oiling the outside, you're salting it, you're putting it on the raw rack, you're getting that crispy skin.
You know what I'm saying?
You're getting a real baked potato.
Make it so I can eat the whole thing.
Yeah, I want a roasted potato is basically what it comes down to.
Yeah. Make the whole thing edible. And then I want y'all to mash that shit up for me and bring it out.
Oh, yeah, fork it and get it all ready.
That ain't that hard. You didn't already cook me this whole meal, but then and it's all pretty set up, but then you got this baked potato that's about to roll off my plate when you sit down because nothing's been done to it.
I need you to fluff the potato.
Fluff the potato.
Fluff the potato.
And I'll eat the baked potato.
Yeah. If you don't do that, it's not worth my time.
Get that shit out of here. Give me that roasted broccoli.
Yeah. This soggy steamed broccoli.
I don't even care about that. I'm just about to rub it all in my steak juice when I'm done.
I'm telling you, man. We've got a very great idea. If anybody is a venture capitalist and wants to fund this, holla at you.
But that's what I was saying. I feel like I guess they have to be a really good seasoned mashed potatoes or whatever, flavorful, because if I'm like I said, if I had mashed potatoes somewhere and I'm trying to eat that with my steak or something, if they're not like seasoned properly, they kind of take away the flavor of my meat.
Oh yeah,
when I'm eating it. You know what I mean?
If they're bland, they're gonna minimize whatever the hell you get near it. 100%.
So I think that's where you gotta it's gotta be a balance. You know? What I'm saying?
100%. So what I would suggest is that in the Midwest, you have a couple different variations of your baseline mashed potato bar. You would have, your just plain classic.
Yeah.
Plain makes it derogatory. Let's go with classic. It makes you feel more emboldened about the choice. Like it's simple but with intention.
Yeah, no, you're saying bland. If you want your basic bland ass with just some salt potato, we got that. But then if you want to mix it up, you know what I mean? Put a little.
You gotta go. Classic is what makes you think that
that's
it's
the draw. It's gonna draw in.
Everything's classic's the marketing term.
Yeah.
Plain is like when you're trying to undersell something.
But it is plain. But I guess if we market it, you're right. Classic.
Look,
classic.
We're trying to make money here.
I get you. It's classic, and then when you write it on the little sign, you got it in that little like brown lettering that's kind of cursive-y with the little orange outline, make it look like a roller skating rink.
Absolutely.
It's a
timeless
you know what I mean?
Aesthetic.
Yeah, just say classic, and then it's like it look like it's coming out at you like a little 3D.
Perfect. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So you've got that, and then you're gonna have to, you have to have different ones. You got to have your garlic potatoes. You got to have your cheesy potatoes, and then because it's the Midwest, you could be like, here's your ranch dressing potatoes.
Oh,
you can mix it up, and then how that goes determines the rest of the potato bar.
Yeah.
Because what are your toppings gonna be like? You're clearly not gonna go the same route with a ranch potato that you're gonna go with the garlic. Well, maybe with the garlic.
Or you can get real weird with it. See who do it and be like, all right, we got a challenge. It's like the 5-way potato. You get your mashed potatoes, and then you get some French fries and put it on there, and then some scalloped potatoes over it, and then like a damn something else. What other? Some gnocchi fucking on top of that, and then something else. You need one more. You need a 5. I feel like it got to be a 5 thing. What's some other potato? Hash browns. Ooh, that's good. Yeah. That's a good topping. Good crumble.
Get them on there.
Oh boy, can we patent that too?
Yeah.
Can we sue about it?
Yeah.
If something happened,
you heard it published. Somebody give us money. We're trying to do this. I need this potato situation. Yeah. I'll come up with a name for it at some point. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Okay, cool. Episode over. We're done. We're out. We've already come up with our next new venture. But yeah, man, there really hasn't. There's been a lot of evolution of potatoes and baked potatoes and things like that in terms of recipes. Everybody's starting to add new stuff to it. Like infused butters, like different things like that. Heavy cream in place of just like whatever dairy you have on hand. Now, what's your butter to milk ratio? What's your butter to dairy ratio going on here? They're both dairy essentially.
I feel like I'm more. I don't know. I feel like I'm more butter, and I don't even know if we use. I think we go more of the sour cream route. Or
I do that too.
You know what I'm saying?
That's another question.
Yeah.
But here's the real question. Do you even make potatoes and cut a stick of butter? You're always throwing the whole thing in there.
Yeah.
I know what you're doing.
Breaking it up.
You want me to get a knife out for this?
Man, drop that thing in there. I might cube it, but it's some big cubes. Yeah. It's not even, if I do, it's pointless.
Here's the real thing.
If your potatoes is hot, it's going to melt that damn butter.
This is what I'm assuming. If our listeners are, who I think you all are.
Yeah. Who they is.
It doesn't matter the size of the batch of potatoes that you're making. I feel like y'all are throwing a whole stick of butter.
Yeah, throwing a whole stick in there.
You might throw more than one stick if it's a massive batch.
Yeah.
But the minimum is a stick of butter.
Yeah, if it could be
I've
in
asked
that
one potato.
Yeah.
Stick of butter.
Oh, stick of butter. You ain't even thinking about it. I want these creamy and buttery.
Butter.
Yeah, and it's salted butter. Usually.
You're doing the salted butter?
I'm doing salted butter.
See,
you know what? I do salted butter everything just because I always got salted butter at the house. I only ever buy unsalted butter when I know I'm about to be doing cinnamon buns. If I ain't making cinnamon buns, I always got unsalted or always got salted butter.
See, I never have salted butter. I always get unsalted butter, and the reason for that is because I like to be able to control the salt in the seasoning phase, and I keep my fat phase separate.
See, I just like everything salty though.
I know,
not too salty, but
look. There's no judgment here. You're fine.
It's like okay, when I'm making toast or something, I don't like to add salt to it. I don't like to add anything. You know what I'm saying? I gotta have my salted butter. You eating saltless toast? You make toast?
I do make toast, but I
It
don't
be having a salt taste
I got
to it.
separate. I got a butter container that's for butter. So that's the salted butter. But if I'm cooking, it's unsalted butter.
Oh, okay.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Anything that I'm going to use seasoning with, I always use unsalted butter because I don't want to
oversalt it. I get you.
Right. Well, I just want to control it. That's it. I don't give a shit about anything other than the fact that I'm salting this. I'm not getting charged for salt over here, so I'm good.
I feel you.
Yeah, it's.
I don't got no butter dish either. I still ain't came there.
I know
yet.
what I'm getting. I'm gonna get you a butter dish.
Hey, I finally got a ladle. Shlee bought me a ladle.
Hell yeah.
It's like the first ladle.
I got you a knife, and you haven't even used it.
I still ain't used the ladle either.
Oh my god. Quincy's gotten so used to not having the things in his kitchen that when he gets certain things, he just doesn't use them anyway.
Yeah.
He still he gets his hand out and he ladles. He cups his hand and scalding hot liquids.
I just use like a measuring cup. Like if we got gravy, making biscuit and gravy, make a big pot of gravy. I'm just using like a big measure.
You see, this is a perfect example of tiny kitchen gang.
Yeah, man.
They don't have it. You got to make use of what you got.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna make some bomb meatloaf sandwiches tomorrow. And I'm gonna take a picture of me cutting that meatloaf sandwich with that beautiful knife. Man.
I want to see.
It's gonna be perfect.
It's gonna be so good.
Yeah.
Perfect. Absolutely. All right. Let's see here. So we're talking about that was the butter to dairy ratio, and we've established that clearly there's no other answer than a minimum of 1 stick of butter, despite the size of your recipe. Then let's talk about dairy to sour cream ratio. Some people, there's a lot of purists out there that they they don't use sour cream.
Yeah.
I think you're fucking up, and this is why it brings a lot of tang to the situation. Now, the same people that are probably not adding sour cream to their mashed potatoes are the same people that don't put pepper in their mashed potatoes. Yeah. That's also a big problem.
Yeah, get that pepper up in there.
What are you doing? Some people are like, I need my food to be perfectly white.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
Yeah, it's Black History Month.
Yeah.
Throw a little bit of
put some pepper in there.
These in there. Get some of your
some
forearm hair in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember when I was younger, I put so much pepper on my mashed potatoes they turned gray. When I was little. I was like, I need some more.
Yeah.
I was stirring them joints up, they turned gray. I was like, ooh, they like, you better eat them.
You could just get the grittiness. You're like,
yeah. My mom and dad was like, y'all, you better eat that mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Boy. I don't know why you did it. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Mistake. Yeah. I put pepper on. I put so much pepper, like an obnoxious amount of pepper on things. I posted a picture in the Nom Syndicate not so long ago. Did you see that mac and cheese that I just peppered to death?
We need that pepper cannon. I need to get that.
Do you know how much that thing costs?
Too much for a pepper grinder.
Yeah. Let me talk about the pepper cannon.
It's dope, though.
I want it so badly. But every time or not every time, I look at it all the time and I talk myself out of it all the time.
Me too.
But I went on there and I was like, okay, cool. I can imagine this crazy engineered pepper cannon is going to cost me maybe $100. And that's like kind of being like ridiculous. That was my ridiculous number. That shit was like 300 something.
It's silly.
Nah. I'm like, what is it? Is it 4K? Can you play games on it?
Yeah.
4K pepper.
And I'm sure all it is, and I ain't trying to undersell it because it's dope and I want one. But I'm sure all it is, like my pepper grinder I got, it's pretty dope. I'll just push a button, but it don't. It's like it's its own gravity trying to let the pepper go down in a little wheel grinder. It's got a light on it. That's pretty dope. I got a light on my the bottom of my shit lights up. You know that? It's like a little flashlight.
Oh my lord.
Because I can see now. You're if I'm outside in the dark,
measuring cup for a ladle, but I've got a flashlight.
I got these fancy salt and pepper grinders, but
tactical.
I'm sure what it is. I'm sure there's probably like a mechanism in there which you can adjust.
Right.
But it's probably a thing it's keeping constant pressure on it. So when you are grinding, it's like forcing the pepper into the grinder. You know what I'm saying? That has to be what it is. It has to be.
It could be.
And then what it is, when you're lowering the tension so you don't get as much pepper, it's probably just lowering the tension of the spring that's controlling the press, or that's putting pressure on the press.
You know what I think it is? I think they're just adapting.
Tell them to take the shit apart so I can see it.
Yeah, I want to see the Burrs.
Yeah, I need to see, because I'm sure it has to be some type of thing in there keeping constant pressure on it.
Well, what I think they've done is I think they've just borrowed a lot of the technology from the coffee industry, because there's a lot of technology that's gone into grinding coffee, tons, and I guarantee you that they're using different burr sets, like flat. So like a lot of times with pepper burrs.
that's not controlling how much comes out. That's just controlling how much fine the grind is, right?
No, so like the way burrs work is you have like a top burr and a bottom burr, and the gap that you set by adjustment dictates how coarse or whatnot.
Yeah.
So what you could do, the way that most pepper mills work is it's kind of like a conical burr. It's like there's a triangular burr going into like a flatter or like a curved bottom, and then it's basically just grinding that pepper down, and it goes through that narrow chute. Well, with coffee, you can have what's called flat burrs. They're a lot wider. They're bigger, and they're flat, and they can grind more evenly over a larger surface area, which will give you more out at once. Because with coffee, what you want to do is you want to maximize the amount of coffee going through and being ground up to minimize friction heat, which will actually degrade some of the coffee extraction. So what he's probably doing is the same thing with pepper.
I think to figure out if that's the case,
somebody needs to mail us one.
Yeah, what it had? Yeah, do that, and we split it. You get it a week, I get it a week. You know what I'm saying?
What visitation schedule set up?
I bet to figure that out, we had to know if can you get the same amount if you got the tension heightened to where it's like pushing out a crazy amount of pepper, right?
Yeah.
For both, say, could you get that same amount with a thick grind or a coarse grind, or can you get that same amount with a fine grind? You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, but you're gonna be throttled by the actual burr set because you can't sandwich the burrs together.
Yeah,
but you are maximizing the amount that's gonna fall.
Yeah, but you can. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. There's something up there pushing the pepper down into the grinder.
No, I mean, we'd have to bench test this, obviously. So whoever's got some deep pockets,
I need to see
thoroughly review the pepper cannon. Do it. We will make videos of it. We will use it all the time.
I need a blueprint of it. I just want to know how it works. Because that's been my whole brain thing. I might put a spring mechanism in my random ones at the crib, see if I can get something in there just to press it down.
We're going to need to create an Amazon wish list and just put it on there. Like, here, just buy some shit off this. We're fine. Everything's great. Okay, well, aside from talking about sour cream and mashed potatoes, I believe that's pretty much the extent. I mean, you can go crazy with the amount of stuff. You can add cheese, you can add garlic, you can add all these different things. But if we're just talking about mashed potatoes, baby, it's usually just that. It's a salt and pepper thing. It's about you balancing your butter, your dairy, your whether you're using milk or whatnot. I mean, I've even made them with almond milk before for people that have like dairy intolerances, and it's come out great. So I mean, like, it's all about just working really hard and making the most of those ingredients and making it awesome. From there, you're gonna have to go to our potato bar.
That's go to our potato bar.
Yeah, that's the only way you're gonna figure this shit out. And with that, I mean, that's a wrap on potatoes unless you got something else.
Heck no, I don't know nothing about potatoes.
We're potatoed out.
So you know what? I had some information on the potato famine, but talking about this, I forgot because I was gonna say it, and I completely forgot.
It's because you're mad at Dewey.
I'm mad at Dewey. Oh, Dookie Dewey, man.
Dewey is screwing it all up. That guy sucked.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a wrap for potatoes, mashed potatoes specifically. We'll get into more potato dishes later, but that's a wrap for mashed potatoes. We're out of here. Peace.